real life protector.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Chris Lynn. I'm an investigator with the Darien Police Department.
It's very nice to meet you, Chrislyn. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, just wonderful.
Very
How are
nice.
y'all?
We're good.
Good.
How are you? Wait, I already asked that question.
So this is pretty much the first episode podcast. Before we start this interview, please like to subscribe this video and comment what you want to see next. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions and you can tell your output. So why do you want to be a police officer?
To help people. I always wanted to be a police officer when I was a little kid. When I graduated high school, I joined the sheriff's office. Been doing it for over 16 years now.
So like off and on, or like you do other stuff during that time?
Yeah, I started out as a dispatcher, then moved on to deputy sheriff, and did that about 4 years. Left, went to the railroad, CSX, to make more money. Which I was miserable because I missed police work. But I got laid off from the railroad after 4 years there, so I went back to law enforcement. I've been there ever since.
Very nice, very nice. Next question.
So how is the training hard to become a police officer? How long did it take to get done with the training?
Well, the academy was 10 weeks when I went through in 2003. Went to Savannah, at what used to be Armstrong State University at the academy there. We did have some off-campus training up in Forsyth, where we did vehicle driving training and firearm practice, stuff like that.
What is your favorite thing you did as a police officer so far?
Favorite thing you have done as a police officer so far?
Like, what is your favorite position? Are you doing now, or like, do you just say,
I like what I'm doing now as an investigator. It's different. I always love patrol because you had something different every day. But investigator position is a nice change. I started 4 months ago.
So, what do an investigator do?
Investigators, they respond after a crime has happened to the scene if they need to. If you have like a burglary or aggravated assault,
Or a car accident?
Yeah. If somebody, like back a few months ago, we had a lady. She intentionally ran over her uncle in town. So that makes it a crime. It wasn't just an accident.
It was a hit and run.
She intentionally ran him over, and he was hurt really bad.
So, what is your main priority as investigator?
Not only to respond after something happens, but also try to, come up with different tactics to prevent crime. Go out and, sometimes patrol officers don't have the time to be able to go out and sit on an area for very long, so I can do that and wait.
What was the scariest thing you ever done as a police officer?
Scariest thing. Probably the scariest thing is driving at high speeds and bad weather conditions, and also, not knowing if somebody's going to make it. Like at an accident scene or something. You just do the best you can.
What was the hardest crime to try to solve for you?
Hardest crimes, it, fraud sometimes, especially if it's done by people overseas, you know. I used to, didn't really need video proof for stuff because technology wasn't there and all, but now with technology, you know, they want video of everything, you know. But
Yeah.
So when you go to the academy, do you learn how to like shoot weaponry and learn how to when to use that stuff doing it? And can you explain why you have to learn that stuff to do it?
yeah, and also on top of the academy, officers in Georgia have to do at least 20 hours of training each year, which includes firearm training. You have to requalify each year to be able to carry a weapon. So, so once you go through the academy, the training doesn't stop. You know.
You just keep on improving.
So what happens if you don't? Like, what happens if then like you did it good the first time in the academy, but the next time you go, what happens if you don't do so good?
Well, they give you another opportunity to try again. If you don't make it in, then you have to sit down with firearms instructor to do some more training and then requalify again. If you don't requalify then you go before the sheriff or the chief and they decide whether you get another chance or
You get fired?
you get fired.
Well, that's rough.
You can't work as a police officer without a weapon. You have to be qualified.
Where is you pretty much see a ranking system like a normal deputy and normal like a patrol officer? Where do you think your rank is as like in just a normal police department?
My rank?
Yeah.
Just investigator at this time. It's based and my pay is based on my experience and training.
Is it something having an investigator or not really?
You have administration like captain is over operations and all that, and then you also have chief or sheriff.
So like if they ask for help like for backup, will you still do like chasing? Like if someone tries to speed, if you like as like patrol call or not really?
If not, no officer needs assistance, yeah, definitely.
So what do you, if like a kid want to be a police officer, what you would like to tell them?
It's a lot different now than when I first started. Especially with the country the way it is now. Just like with anything in society, you know, you have bad people in every walk of life. You know, whether it's police officers, doctors, lawyers, anything. We do what we can to root out the bad ones. But you have to understand
It's a different game you're going into.
but it is still rewarding when you help people.
Especially when it's something you really want to do.
Do you believe sometimes good people make mistakes, like go to jail? You think they can redeem themselves from doing that?
Yeah, I do. And you always hope for that. You know, a lot of times you don't see that. You see the same ones over and over again. But I have seen people that have messed up one time or even a couple times, and that was it. You know, they were able to turn their life around and made their life better, their family's life better.
What will you do if somebody didn't know what to do? Like if someone got like call the dispatch, right? If there was like a break-in, how would you think they would describe it? And when you get to the thing, how you would report it? Will you go on your brain, or you just like use your brain, like before you like assess the situation?
If you get a call from dispatch saying that somebody's breaking in their house, you definitely don't want to go lights and sirens there. Just in case by the time you get there, if they take someone hostage or you want to assess the situation, so you definitely want to come up, without your lights on, try to park maybe next door and walk up and see what you got before you walk up because you're not sure what you walk up on. It's all about safety and not wanting any harm to come to innocent bystanders.
Even the person who's doing that, because if you do that, you can lose maybe your badge.
Yep.
But if they try to do that, you have to make the whole call. Is it very hard if you're in that situation? Will it be hard for you to do it, or you got other choice? Will you do it or not, or you try to find another way to do it?
And what's that?
It's like if someone got a gun at you, or like a knife, or like trying to like fire back. Will you shoot them, or you try to find another way to do it?
Yeah, if there's a way to do it another way, then yes.
Like maybe a taser.
Well, it depends
on the situation.
Yeah, if I've got another officer there, so it's really difficult because even if the subject has a gun by their side, if you try to use your taser before, all they got to do is pull the gun up and shoot you before you can put your taser down and then get your gun. So
because how fast the gun can go.
But if you got another officer there,
it could be easy, but it'd be, I think, very hard to do.
You have another officer with a gun drawn on the subject, and then another officer will try to tase him.
Yeah, I think it'd be very hard to do during that situation because you're by yourself. What you have to do, you just let them shoot you, or you have to make that hard judgment call. That's pretty much protecting yourself. Very hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most problem. Like I think in Florida, he was this lady who got like hostages, I think, and some police officers were trying to stop it like the best way they could, and they were defending themselves. They stopped the suspect. They didn't want to do it, but sometimes that's things.
Yeah, sometimes, especially when it's life or death, you can either try to make the right decision or you can just go straight for it.
And I think it's very tough to try to take just a life in general.
Yeah. I never have to make that decision.
So So when you see when you pull somebody over with a drunk, will you test them with some stuff like a socially thing they go into?
Yep. Yeah, and there's also other signs you can look for, slurring of their speech. You can't just use one thing to decide they're drunk or not. I mean, you use several different testing, because if you're just relying on their slurring their speech, well, they could have a speech impediment. Or if you're looking at the way they're walking, if they're stumbling, they could have a walking condition. If they looking at their eyes, they could have something wrong with their eyes. So you don't just take one or two different things. You take them multiple tests to go by.
Well, he's another test with their breath is a little bit different than that, by the arm too, to see stuff and that.
Yeah, and also with that, some people they refuse any kind of testing, which whenever a person gets their driver's license, they agree to, if they are stopped and suspected of DUI, that they must submit to a DUI test if they're stopped and suspected of it, or they could lose their driver's license.
How can you use your driver's license in the state of Georgia? Is it speeding? That's one way, but it has to be multiple times, right?
Yeah, it's a point system they use. Stars and to add so many points to your driver's license. If you repeat it at a DUI, it's automatically suspended. So it just depends on the charges and how many.
So what was the hardest like crime scene you have to solve? Like if it was car crash, is that very difficult because you have to figure out where the car got crashed into or something?
Yeah, you look for indications of where exactly. Because the one I did, investigated a few months ago, the driver, she was just had some issues where she wasn't able to explain what happened, and the victim had already been taken to the hospital, so I couldn't ask him exactly where he was actually hit. You look for clues, and photograph everything and measure everything. And on crime scenes, you want to be able to also measure everything out where, if need to be, you can recreate the crime scene.
In your head or just like on like a computer too, right?
Yeah, on a computer also. That way, if it does go to court and go to trial,
You got the evidence.
mm-hmm.
But is it very hard to try to make the evidence appeal? Because sometimes it can be very hard. Also, you're trying to look for if the driver got lost control of the vehicle too.
Mm-hmm. And also witnesses.
Yeah, it's very hard if that witness, I think, didn't survive. It's really hard.
Yeah, we had, like on that one, we had a couple of people that actually saw what happened that wasn't involved. They were at the Dollar General and they actually seen everything that took place.
Yeah.
So that witnesses are very valuable.
So like if it was like just it's like it was like okay, so if a car hit a person driving a bike, right? Would that be a hit and run and also a whack tip they what they call it too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to work it as a crime and also a vehicle accident.
Mm-hmm.
Two separate.
So do you do pretty much the same thing for a car class, like car class and a break-in, or you do it two different things because they're two different things?
Yeah, if it's a regular car crash, most of the time it's just done by the patrol officer to do the report and everything. Serious crashes where they're not sure if the person is going to survive or if the person does die, investigators usually called and state patrol. And they have a reconstruction accident reconstruction team if it's serious enough that'll come down and recreate it.
Like if you like had a missing person thing, right? Or person go missing, how would that process work? They have to be missing for 24 hours, right?
Nope.
Not in
That's only TV.
on TV.
That's a myth.
So that's the myth. See,
a lot of people get information off of NCIS TV shows and stuff like that.
some documentaries too.
But no, reporting can be done at any time, and it doesn't matter if it's an adult or a child.
But can they start the investigation when they first report it?
Yep, they could start their investigation. What'll happen is they'll search the immediate area, but also immediately that person's information, their name and date of birth, the person's that's missing is be entered into what's called GCIC and the NCIC computer network, which goes nationwide to all law enforcement agencies. And like say somebody goes missing in Darien, we enter them in. Officer see somebody walking down the sidewalk, they look maybe distraught or something, like in Brunswick or something, and the officer gets out with them to check on them, and if something don't seem right with them, like maybe they have a medical condition, well, if they are able to identify that person by their name and date of birth, and they check their name and date of birth in the computer system, and it's going to come back an alert saying this person was reported missing in Darien.
Then they investigate the Darien Police Department.
And they'll contact us, and then we would contact a family member or friend or whoever that reported them missing, and we would check to make sure that that person gets help if they need help, or if they're okay and say they're not missing and they're an adult, and we let the family member also know that they're okay.
So, last question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion what's going on in this country and how you think people can resolve it? Just in your and just in your own opinion.
And what was the first part of that?
What's going on in this country with the police, support the police or not, and your own opinion why the police should be supported, and why you think police are being appointed to protect people, and he is good policemen in this country we love.
Yeah. It's a two-way street. You gotta have a working relationship with the community. You don't just want to be taking people to jail and that be it. You want to be able to work with the community and let them know you're there to protect them. And not just be there when something bad happens. Interact with the community, do as much as you can with that, and I think that's the best way to do it. If you don't interact with them, all they see is just somebody with a badge and a gun. But it's something that has to be dealt with.
Just need to find that balance.
Yep.
Find the most of the good people and then the bad people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like how you can't base one story off of one side of it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure you're basing it off of both sides, and you can't blame all people just because of one incident.
That's it.
Yes, that's gonna be the end of the interview. Thank you for watching the first episode of Podcast with BumbleBee 6. My guest is Chris Lynn. Thank you for coming on the show. Let's try this video.
Thank
That's
you.
it. Thank you guys for enjoying your time. See you next time. See you guys later. Bye.